One. Welcome to the Good Place Marionville podcast, dedicated to highlighting the good right here in Marionville, Missouri.
Okay, Jim, it's just been a week since Apple Fest has been over. And so I want to start with just a little bit of a highlight, kind of highlight reel of things that we enjoyed from Apple Fest and what you thought was a highlight. So you share first.
First of all, it was so amazing to see downtown filled with people.
Yeah.
I mean, when after the parade on Saturday morning, with thousands of people downtown, I mean, literally at the Lions Club booth, we gave 1,000 bottles of water away before 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. I mean,
Crazy.
so many people, so awesome to see that. Absolute highlight was that, just seeing downtown Marionville thrive.
Which is funny because you're not always a crowd person. So for you to say the crowds were amazing, it really is a good thing.
Well, I could retreat back into my tent, so it was okay.
That's true. I think for me, one of the things that was really a highlight was seeing all of the kids having so much fun in the inflatables and at their stage, and Joe, the snake guy.
I didn't like Joe the snake guy
No,
because I don't like snakes.
It's a love-hate thing, but boy, were they beautiful. And I thought
one
that was
snake
just,
left a deposit in our parking lot.
yep, snake poop is a real thing.
It's a disgusting thing. All right, but Applefest, I thought it was awesome. Your team did a phenomenal job. It was such a fun weekend. I kind of wish it would go another day. It was just so much fun.
Well,
And
that's why
the
we
weather wasn't perfect, because it kind of bummed out we missed the church service Thursday night because of thunder, lightning, and potential hail.
Yes.
And the parade got a little late, but you know
That's
what?
okay.
Still ended up being fantastic. And the weather, if you could arrange that weather, you and your Applefest committee, that kind of weather for every year, that would be phenomenal.
It was absolutely beautiful. And it just all worked out. We had to be flexible, and that's the name of the game. And I will tell you, we are already talking Christmas. So we've had our debrief. We have taken all kinds of great comments from Facebook and surveys that we put out there for people with comments, both good and bad, and things we can improve. And we're taking those to heart. But right now we're focusing on the Christmas events. So stay tuned. And if anybody wants to get involved, you can get a hold of us through our Facebook page or our website, which both of those are Marionville Apple Fest. So love to hear from you. Love to have you get involved. Our team keeps growing, and I'm just so grateful for that because, as my mom always said, many hands make light work.
And it showed this year. You guys did just such a great job. Really great job.
Thank you. All right, Jim,
All
we're
right.
going to take a little walk down memory lane.
Okay.
So-
Am I getting that old? We have to go down memory lane? You're
Yeah.
trying to remember,
So
remind me of memory issues?
No.
Okay, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, at about the same time right now, we had just finished up renovations for the old library, which is now Central Place, which is where we're at, sitting right at this moment. We had just spent a little over a year gutting and renovating this whole building on the inside. But while we were working on that, we were also
working on
what
an
were we
idea.
doing?
Well, we're thinking about next door.
Yes.
So we're thinking about.
Attention to the fact that there was this empty building next door, and we were thinking about what could be done in there.
Because it was kind of sad. It was the old Trail of Tears studio, and it had a hole in the roof, and it looked
About the size of what?
a car.
And you could peek in the windows and you could see the rotted sheetrock and the ceiling tiles were falling. But after about 20 months of pursuing it, something happened.
A miracle happened. Our friend Alicia Adams from Great American Title was able to get a closing on the property, and we got it bought on the 30th of August, 2024. The place that's now being called The Gathering.
Yes.
I started talking to friends and asking around until we finally met Dave Mathis, the owner of Trail of Tears, blacksmith welding, artistic welding. And really, we're trying to get a hold of him so we can say, hey, Dave, can I buy your building? And we were able to get it done.
Yes.
Which was no small feat. That's what I'd like to thank. Our big shout out to Alicia Adams. Then last year on the 31st of August, the clean out began. 2 full trailers full of junk metal that Juan Gracias got to take. Recycle. Absolutely. And then a lot of construction debris taken out, gutted from wall to wall, ceiling to floor, and the work began. We pressure washed the inside of the building.
How satisfying was that, Jim?
Twice we did that. Very satisfying.
I have many places where you can pressure wash the inside, but that was pretty fun.
The floor. It was pretty unbelievable. But we bought this building, Martha. We felt like there was a need in Marionville.
We did. We thought that there was a need in Marionville for a place where community can gather and just be. And I think when I explain that to people, they get it. They're like, just for friends and colleagues to get together and be able to not be in a hurry, to sit over a cup of coffee, which is very traditional in our culture, to relax over a cup of coffee, but to slow down.
Which is kind of funny, to relax over a cup of coffee, which fills you full of caffeine and sugar if you so desire, and amps you up, but you're relaxing?
Yes.
Yeah.
So years ago, we had friends that were missionaries in the Middle East, and I remember them sharing with us how hospitable the Middle Easterns were, and they had a proverb.
They were from Lebanon.
Yes. And they had this proverb that, of course, we had to translate it into English, but essentially it was, with feet under the table, you found a place to belong. And so that's really what has touched my heart, that I want a place where people can put their feet under the table, relax, and belong there. And that's really what we've prayed about and just dreamed up ideas for what the gathering could be.
For the last 13 months.
Yes.
Unbelievable. We never really thought it would take that long, but, we're caregiving at the same time. We also run a ministry, and we're busy in town. Martha was busy with Applefest. I'm busy with the fire department, which, by the way, we're still looking for volunteers for the fire department. All right, so let's talk about the design of the building. Again, we gutted from floor to ceiling and from wall to wall. The first thing we had to do was fix the roof and get a brand new roof on it. It's got a brand new cutting edge foam roof.
Yeah.
So insulation is on the outside instead of the inside, so we can still celebrate what's up in the ceiling.
And I think one of the things that we've had a lot of fun with, Jim, is repurposing as much as we could. Now, there wasn't much in the building that was usable, but a lot of, the windows used to be boarded up. We used that old wood with patina and put it on the front of our stage. Things like that just really have been fun.
And we exposed the original architecture of the front of the building and put brand new windows in it. And it opens it up. You literally don't need lights inside the building the first 8-9 hours of the day because it's so bright in the north side of that building.
We took down the ceilings and opened up the rafters, and we found a beautiful beadboard.
Beadboard ceiling, 14 feet high from front to back, perfectly level, just unbelievable. We've saved that. I sanded it for 2 weeks, and then we painted it for another 2 weeks.
Yes.
We had to put in the floor, sewer, and plumbing. We had to reframe. We reframed not offices, 2 bathrooms and a prayer room and a storage room and a stage. But we made the front of it. We added a brick feature, which was for structure and also for decoration all throughout the building. Just a lot of fun to help celebrate and bring back to life a 150-year-old building downtown.
Yeah. So, here's a fun fact. We interviewed Beth Hughes, which is a Darby, and Carol Bangle back in June. And I'm going to put that link in the show notes for everybody. But, we allowed them to tour Central Place and the Gathering when they were here to do that interview. And we got a lot of history from them about the buildings. And, Jim, there's really kind of another fun fact we need to share with everybody is we know that part of Gathering is sitting over a cup of coffee. However, you and I are not regular hot coffee drinkers. So, we figured that coffee would be an element, but we knew that we wouldn't be the baristas. We'll consume something with a lot of cream and sugar and yummy flavors and all of that, but that we don't have that talent. And so we're going to tell more of that story next week on another episode of the podcast. But I just want to suffice it to say that God provided just the right people to come alongside of us with a similar heart and a similar dream that's making that happen.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what we made the Gathering, not only a place for you to come in and get a cup of coffee and sit with friends, play games, visit, have some food, but also a place that you can rent out. A beautiful place that is for small gatherings, but we're also contemplating having quarterly, maybe even eventually monthly Friday night or Saturday night live entertainment in there with a small cover charge and bring in local entertainment for us to celebrate and have a cup of coffee and maybe a sandwich or a cookie or a pastry or something and listen to somebody local and live from our stage.
In fact, I just posted that on our Facebook page, The Gathering, that asking people, who do you know that does live music locally so that we can start to build up that calendar for that. So
One of the things, Martha, that is at your heart and passion. You ran a Christian books and gift store for a decade, and ever since the pharmacy stopped selling cards and little small gifts, you thought we need a little place in town that you can get reasonable greeting cards and some gifts to give away, and so we built that into the features of the gathering.
We did. And then I want to take it a little bit further, and that is by collecting local makers, people that are making things in their homes, selling them online, selling them at maybe flea markets or festivals or things like that, where they want to have a brick and mortar place where people can see their stuff, pick it up, come in for a cup of coffee, and pick up that gift for the birthday party that you have or a Christmas gift or whatever it might be. So for a small monthly fee, people can display their items and celebrate what's being made here locally, because I know we have a lot of very gifted business people.
So if somebody's interested in placing their goods inside the gathering to have retail sales exposure, how would they get a hold of you, Martha?
Well, I think the easiest thing is probably just to message me on the Gathering Facebook page. I'll put that link in the show notes. I'll also put my email out there so you can reach me that way. You can also... Here's our invitation to you all. This Thursday, October 2nd at 5 o'clock, we're having our official ribbon cutting at the Gathering at Central Place and for Elevate Coffee. So join us to celebrate the new business venture that's going to bring a lot of enjoyment and pleasure, as well as activity in downtown Marionville.
Probably some traffic. The city's working on getting the street restriped because we're going to need some more parking. Encourage your local aldermen to make sure they vote yes to get this striping done and get it done quickly, because between the new salon and the Gathering and Central Place and Smart Insurance,
a lot of people downtown.
A lot of people downtown. Saturday the 4th, grand opening morning at 8 a.m. Grand opening of the Gathering and Elevate Coffee.
8 until 1. They come for live music, giveaways. Lots of activities will be going on.
Incredible.
So, Jim, what's the highlight of the last 13 months getting us to this point?
The highlight was taking pictures last night going, oh my word, it turned out just like we wanted it to be. A neat place, bringing it back to life, celebrating a neat old building, but giving it new guts that will last hopefully 100 years from now.
That'd be awesome.
So we can't wait for you guys all to see it. This episode of the Good Place Marionville podcast, sponsored by the Bank of Billings. You guys know this, but let's just remind everybody, their core values are community first, customer first, passion for service. They've got a commitment to Marionville that is it's just amazing. We're so grateful for the Bank of Billings. These core values have enabled them to be in business since 1889. Not quite as old as the building that the Gathering just got built in, but
pretty close.
They're pretty close, and they are a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Okay, Jim, tell us a quick good news story about a turkey rescue
all right,
first responders did.
I don't know. Many of you don't know. Maybe you do know. The city owns about 100 acres outside of town. That's where the sewer processing plant is, the sewer water processing plant. And apparently a couple of turkeys landed in one of the sewer ponds. And one of them was rescuable yesterday. And our first responders, Chris Bowling, Dalton Gold, and Caleb Blystone, did CPR on one of the turkeys and brought it back to life, and later on yesterday released it back into the wild. Hats off to you guys.
Way to go, guys, for rescuing the turkey. That's awesome. So good news there.
Hopefully we can catch it in time for November. I don't know.
Let it get a little fatter. All right. In nonprofit news, I have this report from the Ozark Methodist Manor. They celebrated their 100th birthday last Friday, and Stephanie Campbell, who was the first place apple pie and grand champion winner of the baking contest during Applefest, shared some great highlights with me. She said it was a great success and had such positive feedback from everyone about how much they enjoyed it. There's something for everyone, from the kids to the seniors and in between. They had some wonderful speakers who helped tell their story about their own personal experiences. There was a great live band, long time running. Several guests got up and danced, I guess, during the music. And there was lunch, and then even the Manor Choir sang some songs. Did you know the Manor has its own anthem called God Bless the Manor? I thought that was pretty cute. There were door prizes and goodies and stuff for the staff. And, you know, it really is just a great history that we have the Ozark Methodist Manor here for 100 years and hopefully 100 more.
Unbelievable. And we're so grateful for the Manor and all that they add to our community. Hey, in city updates, September's Curb Appeal Award was sponsored by this podcast, the Good Place Marionville podcast, and the Pick and Patch. This monthly award is such a fun way to highlight the hard work residents have put into their front yards. Thanks for voting on the Marionville Pride Facebook page, and thanks to Kathy Urschel and Barbara Neely for all of your work, ladies, to keep that page active.
You know, in business news, I just really think that the new downtown businesses is the good news of the week.
That's right. We got to be our own guest today. That was fun. And thanks to all of you following along this journey. We've had lots of people peeking in the windows over the last year and a half, looking in, going, what's going on? What's going on? Some people knock on the doors. We've given some tours. Thanks for your encouragement, your kind words, and telling us not to give up. Don't quit before it's done. Now, come make Elevate Coffee and The Gathering a huge success and use this space to host your next party.
Thanks to the Bank of Billings for sponsoring today's podcast and for sponsoring the first 25 cups of coffee at Elevate Coffee during the grand opening on Saturday. Consider becoming a sponsor. You can contact us at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
You can report good news by email at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Good Place Marionville on YouTube, and click the bell to be notified when each episode releases.
Thanks for joining us for the Good Place Marionville podcast.
We'll see you Saturday morning from 8 to 1 at the Gathering downtown and Elevate Coffee.
Keep your eyes out for the good, and together we can celebrate Marionville.